And I think we are possibly live.
It's possible. It's possible.
Hey guys.
And I hope everybody is doing well today. There's a lot going on weather-wise. Crazy. Well, almost spring, right? Spring's coming.
Yeah.
It's just around the corner.
We already did that springtime thing.
Yeah, we did the springtime thing. And Carter, you are back with us. Ray, awesome. Namaste, Ray. Great to see you guys. Ben Zomniak, hello. Ron Simpson, good to see you, brother. Robbie Berry, hey, awesome, Robbie. Oneness in the house. KK, dreaming in Puerto Rico. I love me, Puerto Rico. Brenda, Lone Hawk Whitlock, good to see you guys. So, yeah, lots and lots of weather chaos ongoing as we're speaking right now.
Yeah, lots of weather issues. Thought we would come on and talk about that, and at the same time send whatever positive energy we can out there, because we're all coming together and we're all light workers, and we all have the ability to send a little bit of love and help people in some way, shape, or form. It's really funny how that works. It's like you send the love out, and then somebody's guides and angels, might get someone else's attention. And it might save them. You just never know. It's really weird. And there's our special K. We got both KKs in the house. I'm loving it. Oh, and Mary D. Oh my gosh. So this is a lot of fun. I'm so happy. Like all my favorite people here.
Yeah, so I like your idea, Cindy. Like we're sitting here watching all these tornadoes touching down at these various towns, and unsuspectingly they look like they're going one direction, and all of a sudden it kind of looks like it got rerouted. So maybe we can nullify some of the damage, or even kind of reroute it ourselves into a more positive way out and around.
Yes, I know we can. So this is really good. Everybody's loading up in the house. Yeah, I mean, it's very concerning. The weather that we saw was very concerning. So we at least want to help people make sure that they can find a way to get to some sort of safety. And we can do that too with energy.
Yeah, we had to make a run into town to do some shopping, and we saw what looked to be the remnants from microburst. So the weather is certainly frightful in some places. We did this video. This is Heart's Home. This is the newest channel. And it's talking about spirit guides, and particularly the fox, because I had a fox cross my path, and I really felt like I was supposed to speak about that with everybody. Again, this is just basically light spirituality, or you could say a deep dive into spirituality, lighthearted. So no scary news on that particular channel, but great playlists, lots of specialized things. Like if you really want to deep dive into, again, the mantras, it's all here. And also some of our healing music in 432 hertz, which is very different than 440 that we have with modern medicine as far as its frequency. But 47 mantra videos there, exploring other densities, dimensions, 70 videos, 85 videos, channeled messages. Of course, we do put everything up on Patreon as always as well. And so we want to thank you guys again for supporting us over on Patreon. There are exclusives there all the time. There was a meditation that Cindy did yesterday that was a Patreon exclusive that came from the Galactics. So when Cindy gets a message to give these energies, this meditation to you guys, that's exactly what we do. Meanwhile, as you see this, a massive dust storm sweeping the southern Great Plains of the United States, and also the winds. When you look at this, wow, that feels so cyclonic, doesn't it? I mean, just feel the energy in there. I've seen a lot of people now saying, why is it that every storm has to be a record breaker? every time that there's a slight chance for an outbreak of tornadoes, we get an outbreak of tornadoes. This hurricane may end up being a Cat 3 and then it becomes a Cat 5. Every single time out, this seems to be the case. This is currently what we're looking at. This is over at Ventusky. So as you can see, this is a substantial band of very, very intense weather ongoing. And, again, the core of this is right here at the moment. Now, this is going to continue to move east and north. So, just be very aware of the potential for extreme weather events. Absolutely very, very real. And yesterday in Missouri, wow, here you have a massive tornado in Rolla, Missouri, 80-mile-an-hour winds. It just can be absolutely crazy out there. And tornadoes are very scary. I've been in both hurricane and tornado conditions. I think the tornado is the unpredictability of it. That's really what scares me.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And, this morning and lately I've been feeling this bad pain on the right side of my head, and I believe it's from this pressure that we've had going on for the last couple of days. I don't think that it's supernatural. I know that there's definitely a change in the barometric pressure because I always feel it in this one ear that I had surgery on, and it hurts. It's almost like I can feel them tapping with some sort of weird weather device. It's always yucky.
Yeah, I always thought about either one of these, a hurricane or a tornado at nighttime, and you can't see it coming. The lights, maybe the power goes out. I mean, I just really feel for these people. And then, if you make it through the night, then you wake up with complete and utter destruction around you. I remember driving. I don't know if I was driving. Where was I? I was out exploring on some road trip somewhere. It was somewhere south. I don't know if it was Mississippi or Alabama, somewhere. And I mean, it was a mile wide on both sides of the road. As I'm driving, all the telephone poles were taken out, all the houses. I just couldn't believe the destruction. And some of the crazy things, like you'd see a 2x4 stuck in a telephone pole. And you're like, how the heck? I mean, the force must be just, I don't know. I wouldn't want to have to live through anything like that.
No. I mean, life is hard enough. I mean, we have enough weird storms going through our lives right now. I mean, this type of unpredictability, it is really weird because I'm learning a lot about transits, and I'm learning about certain planets going through certain houses and how that can create a lot of unpredictability, unstable things. And what if you were able to know those things? Actually, what could you do? Maybe you could do a little bit better. Maybe you could stabilize just a little bit more if you could see it coming. I mean, I might have this out of balance thing with astrology, but I really appreciate it to help us have an understanding about what might be coming our way. And while we look at the people here that are just standing in total devastation, let's make sure and send out prayers and love and nourishment, emotional nourishment to them.
Yes, absolutely. It's that time of year, but then it's kind of always time of year now for these extreme weather events. Everywhere you look, F2 tornado hit the town of Arnold, Missouri on the 14th. Town has suffered major damage, leveled businesses and homes. We see this, place after place after place. It looks like a giant halo from the sun. Isn't that very, very curious there? As you see, looks like the door. What the heck is that? Is that a roof in the doorway? Wow, it's just crazy.
Yep, there's the whole right side.
Man, when it comes at night, that is just terrifying when you get these things at night. Villa Ridge, Missouri, people have lost their lives, unfortunately, in these tornadoes that hit Missouri last night. Tornado caused significant damage, loud roar, numerous power flashes, semi-trucks flipped, various structures damaged, just craziness. And then I saw that our brother Wayne, he went online this morning to make this quick video. He doesn't usually come on, from what I've noticed anyway, on Saturdays with his shows. But he just wanted to share. He said, on Friday, we as a group came together to speak against the brewing super thunderstorm complex that was forecast to hit his area where he lived hard. And it did just exactly that. Hit that part of the country very hard. Winds up to 90 miles an hour were recorded, large hailstones, damaging straight line winds, moving 65 to 75 miles an hour, multiple tornadoes touched down. At 8:17, all of our devices went off, alerting us that a tornado was on the ground heading directly at us. Weather spotters confirmed there was a tornado heading directly towards us, and weather reports were warning all residents in the path of the oncoming tornado to take shelter immediately, and we did. But then something happened. Instead of intensifying, the weather suddenly became calm. The rain was so intense you couldn't see 10 yards ahead of you, but became much less intense to just a hard, steady rain, and the lightning that was putting on a show suddenly stopped to just a few flashes. And then the weatherman who was on the air said that supercell that was over us had dissipated, and the energy had split into two different cells and had weakened significantly to below severe levels, just as we had spoken it to do. And then to actually see it and live through it was just freaking awesome. The lesson had proved itself that we as individuals and as a group can affect anything and everything, including the weather. Earlier, I had gone outside to give praise to the elementals and to Sophia, Mother Earth, for listening to us, and it seems they did hear us. Thanks to all of you who participated in this binding work. You should be proud of yourselves. I hope you realize just how powerful you really are. Absolutely. So, good to hear, as Wayne is a dear friend. And, talking to the elementals, that's what I always do whenever we have severe weather. That's like first line of communication is you talk to the elementals and you ground and root to Mother Earth.
Don't we all? And we have some really cool people in the house. I had a Netsiah sighting, Miles sighting, and everybody. This is so cool. So it's really great to see you guys here. It's just odd that the house is filling up, but the chat number is going down. Go figure.
Yeah, I wonder if the powers that be are rerouting your listeners as well as some of these storms.
Yeah, right. Most likely. It's a little bit frustrating, but we're still in this together. We're still moving. We're still going. We're still sinking, and oh my gosh, with people, that's just so sad. But anyway, it is what it is. We are here together. We have a room full of people who we're all going to work together, and we're going to make things a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. So, they can finagle the numbers. They do. This is what they do. They absolutely can't stand what we do. But what do? We just tell people that you have amazing potential. We can manifest what we want to. The system is absolutely corrupt and is the only real major problem on Earth that's been setting us all back. All these other things that we're constantly being barraged with are just different symptoms and signs of what the dark matrix does to us every single day. So at the same time, they are going to lose. They've already lost this battle. They're not going to be able to keep this together. It's disintegrating as we speak. I was watching Max Velocity and Ryan Hall, and it's not just me that has to go out there and type in that geoengineering. Other people are beating me to it now. That's great. People are awakening. You can't hold this back anymore. The real storm is about to pound down on the system itself.
Yes, there will definitely be a ding at the end. Thank you for reminding me. And the gong is way over there, but maybe we can fit in a gong too, because I know that really helps a lot of people, and it helps clear the energy, it clears the air, it chases those blocks right out of there, and it just puts everyone in a better place. Plus, you're sitting here with three very powerful people who care a lot and love a lot, and we're just trying to help other people. So thanks you guys for showing up. We definitely cannot do this awakening without you. Please hit the thumbs up, hang out in chat, talk with people, get to know people, and just be you be you, and know that you're in a comfortable, safe place.
Yeah, I mean, we could all visualize and imagine just sending this love and light as we did the other night, like connecting each one of us from all parts of the planet. I mean, we have people from Australia, Canada, US, and who knows where else on here, watching now or in the future. And what's cool is that time doesn't exist on the other side. So even if people in the future tune in to this broadcast and connect with the energies here, and we all have that conscious intent to send that unconditional love of light to dissipate these energies. And with that intent in mind, I mean, we can make changes. We can create miracles.
Definitely, and I think we do have kind of an interesting mix of news and spirituality, because there is a bridge, there is a gap, there is information that's missing. There's people who still want to know what's going on out there, and I think we bring another level of information to it to help take that step. To another world, because we're all in a little bit of a uncharted territory, actually.
Yeah, these are exciting times, to say the least. And again, we want to invite everybody, if you haven't subscribe to all three channels on YouTube. And of course, you're welcome to join us on Patreon. Last night, we did this live. This is over on Dr. Joe's revived channel, Universal Talking, which again, there's videos there from 15 plus years ago, and really interesting interviews that he's done with who's who of this sort of thing. It goes back a long time. So, it was great to go live over there and, do things in a very casual manner, conversational, and it felt wonderful. His new channel, too, I would invite you to subscribe to A Guiding Light. And, please do join us over there as well. So what we're seeing right now as we look at Google Earth, please do put your prayers and your positive intentions out for the area that right now is in danger from tornadoes. Tylertown, there was reports of a tornado down. This is in Mississippi. And we've talked about, we were right there in the same area, not far from this, when a tornado formed over our heads when we were in a little 19-foot camper. And that was our home for a bit. So as you can see, severe weather, everybody over in this area, we were praying for them, sending positive intention out. I want to thank you guys again. Our sister and brother, Leah and Neil. Neil is doing much, much better, and he is definitely attributing it to prayers and positive energies. So, again, they don't want us knowing that. If somebody needs healing and all we have to do is get on the horn and, gather up, right now 106 good friends and say, can you send some positive healing energy to so-and-so? And then they get better. Can you imagine? We're not going to need all this stuff that they sell us all the time. It's a new world. This is what it looks like when you get outside of a Kali Yuga. Oh no, we are empowered beings. We're only just starting to realize how powerful we are. So as we look at this Darbin, Mississippi, again, prayers to everyone out there.
Oh yeah, definitely prayers, and thanks for hanging in the chat. We're definitely going to do some dings and maybe even a gong at the end. So
everybody hear us? Because it's like this is locking.
Can you guys hear us? Can you just testing the, it's like the screen is locking up. So and I don't see anybody in chat. It's like we got booted. Oh wait. So powerful, Mike, the positive energy. No one's confirming yet. We just need a confirmation.
Seems like that's moving. This is.
Oh, good, Mary D. You guys say loud and clear, loud and clear. Thank you so much for the confirmations there. That helps.
Okay, so just so you guys know, you could see my little thingy that's going around there. Let's see. Nope, it won't let me click to the next story. So
Wow.
we're gonna just have to tell you what else is going on as we go through this, because they're interfering, and this is the type of thing that happens to us time and time and time again. It's just par for the course. So again, right now there's a lot of storms out there. In specific, Mississippi is probably getting the worst of it at this point in time. Southeast of Jackson, to the west of Hattiesburg, and it's just tough times with these crazy things. But the big reveal is the fact that, again, technology, the interplay of technology with what we would have taken to be in different times, just a simple act of God.
I know. Just definitely a lot of weird weather going on lately, and like Mike said, it's always about our computer's completely locked up now. So and now it just shut down. I hope we still have people, and there it goes.
Now they're released us.
Okay, so we've been released from jail.
There we go.
Awesome.
Okay, there you are.
So we got a lot of people now. Good. Great to see everybody in the chat. But yeah, I mean, every day there's like a new record. It's like new record. And oh my gosh, look at that truck just roll over. That would be like the scariest thing ever. I could never imagine ever March 14th.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just,
that's horrible.
I've seen that before. I mean, I've seen that before. Thankfully never was in a major accident myself since I was once, but that was way back when I was 16. And that car was totaled like so many of these look to be totaled, but thankfully escaped without a scratch. It was kind of miraculous. But there's reason for miracles, because you really do have truly angels that are there to protect you all the time. That's not folklore and fiction. That's just reality. The problem is we haven't actively asked for help because of the conditioning and many religious mindsets. You're only supposed to ask for help in certain ways at certain times. And, we could ask for help at any time. And this is something that came through from the guides when Cindy was channeling. Have you guys, everybody, ask for help on a daily basis from your angels that are protecting you, your spirit guides, all your ancestors. They're really there, and they will help as they are allowed. But we need to also literally ask them for their help, because they're not going to interfere in our life.
No, there's definitely a rule about non-interference. So we have to ask our guides and our angels to come in and give us assistance. It's our journey, and I know that a lot of people don't really know it maybe, but they have so many guides and angels that are sidelined, that are just sitting on the side, because maybe they are talking, but you're not listening. You only want to hear certain things. You only want to hear certain information. And that's very, very difficult when you're kind of stuck in a place and you don't want to hear all the things. And then you got to open yourself up to listening to other people through different venues, or listen through music, or listen through other ways, listen through your body. But our guides and angels, they are always trying to talk to us. It's like your pet, you know. You start to communicate with your pet and you get this dialogue going on. And the dialogue is fun because the more you interact with your pet, the more they interact back. And you get this two-way communication after a while. You just know each other. And it's like that with our guides and angels as well. It's like we really have to put out the effort. And then when you do get something, you do acknowledge something, they are so happy about that. They are just delighted when you acknowledge them.
You know, when I was in New Mexico, I think I was down on I-25. I was coming back from Albuquerque or Los Lunas, somewhere down there, and heading back north, and the winds were so strong, and I was in that little Sprinter van, and it was blowing me all over the road. And what you just saw, this tractor trailer going, and all of a sudden it starts tipping, and then it falls like right in front of me. I'm like, what's the chances that, first of all, I'm here at this particular moment of now to witness this? And being in New Mexico, it was, I mean, in the spring, I remember in March, it was like that was the time when the winds would come and 50 mile per hour or faster. I mean, and then where I was at, I lived in Clayton, New Mexico, which was only 10 minutes from Oklahoma. And I remember looking across, and it was so flat, you could see, even though it took 10 minutes to drive, you could see into Oklahoma. And it was weird. It was like this delineated border where New Mexico, where I was at, we weren't, not that they never got tornadoes, but while I was there, we didn't get them. But in Oklahoma, it seemed like it started right there, and I could see the first it starts out, maybe you can see a dirt devil, which looks similar to a tornado, but you can see in the distance, like 10 minutes away, 10 miles away, the tornado going, and it's like, it's right there. You know what I mean? It's so, and it was during the day, but at that time in my life, I'm like, oh my God, that would really be crazy to have that happen to you at nighttime. Luckily, as I travel across, say, Arkansas, Missouri, they have these bug out, like it looks like a concrete, something that you'd have for the war or something. In fact, when I was looking for houses to purchase there, that was one of the selling points. Is, you just walk out of your house, or you even have a tunnel in your basement, if they had a basement, that went into this, storm cellar, I guess they would call it. And you just wait out some of these storms. And if you're lucky enough to have that, I mean, at least it's something.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's something. These storms can be very nasty, very unpredictable. Gosh, I mean, look at this poor person's house. I mean, it's completely on fire. What if you have pets? What if all your medicine is in there? I mean, think about the things people are going through right now. It's so awful.
The Oklahoma governor was on. He was saying there's over 130 wildfires in Oklahoma right now. So, again, we send prayers and positive energies over there to everybody in Oklahoma. And you have 12 in the Norman area alone. And obviously people have lost their homes. Very, very sad. It's just, it's constantly ongoing. I really don't believe that most people even have a clue about how the earth can be so tranquil in other ages when we're not in the Kali Yuga. Here you go. Let's give you a little nature. You got to be cautious with some of Mother Nature's creatures. Cautious, but they'll feel your vibe and energy. And look at this guy, here you go. I mean, if a bull is going to do that with his foot, you might want to be careful. But this gentleman shows that I mean you no harm, and in fact, I'm here to scratch your back. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that with a bull. No way, absolutely not. No, those things are kind of unpredictable, like the weather we're dealing with. I mean, yeah, they're very large and they're very powerful, and they mean business. So even if they just want to play, you don't want to be playing in a ring with a bull.
I'd be like, please don't return the favor by scratching my back with those horns that you got right there.
Yes.
I actually had growing up on the farm, Well, it's a long story, so I'm not going to tell it here, but I had it just like this right here where he moves his foot. It was like just out of the movies. It was like, and it was at nighttime, and I had the flashlight, and all of a sudden you heard out of his nose, and he did that thing with his, and I thought, oh God, oh crap, and it was on. So that's a story for another time, but yeah, that kind of brought back some memories there. And I wasn't able to pet him like that, I can tell you that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you got to be respectful of nature for sure. You know, many people probably have heard of this, the fact that when you look to Europe and what's the population of Europe going to be in 2100, this says so much with, you know, again, how certain agendas are always put in our faces. And I mean, I remember that viral video from that Gil Bates character when he was talking about, you know, skyrocketing population. What are we going to do? There's going to be too many people in the year 2100, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now Europe's population is forecast to crash. I mean, to crash. When you look at these numbers, most of the countries are going to be experiencing massive population declines. So, you know, this gets me thinking of some remote viewing I heard of going way back to Coast to Coast Radio, probably in the 80s or 90s. I mean, probably early 90s. And I don't think it was, what was that guy's, Ed Dames? Yeah, I'm not sure if it was him or not. But it really stuck out because they were talking about a study that had been done, government study in remote viewing, and they were looking at 2050. And what did they see in 2050? They saw way less people kind of living more in a tribal situation. And when you look to what they're giving us now, at least for Europe, you're definitely looking at way less people. And Great Britain, you see, is bucking the trend there. The UK is going to add, but that's because of massive migration. When you're looking at Italy's going to be down they're saying 24 million people. And France, again, is going to gain slightly, but that, again, is migration. Will you even recognize any of these countries at that time, you know, in the future, 50 years from now, 75 years from now? I don't know what it's going to look like in 5 years from now. You know, 2030 is a huge number when you look at all the different agendas throughout time. Remember Agenda 21, and then morphing into Agenda 2030. And then, of course, we had those DEAGL numbers and all that. You know, if we could get through this year and we don't have anything major, then we could say that DEAGL forecast was just the potential of a negative timeline that maybe some dark demonic entities wanted to scare us with. I really do think, again, it's our consciousness and the interplay between all of our consciousness that has the biggest effect. Because, you know, we're waking up to the fact that there's been black magic spells that have been done on humanity time and time again. Well, you know, we could counteract that, and more people are directly counteracting it. You know, look at R. Wayne Steiger and so many other people. I mean, was it George Norrie, or was it going way back to Art Bell, who did that consciousness experiment all those years ago? And, you know, again, we could change storms. We could change anything. So, you know, I want to put it out there that we have the most illuminating, let's say, 5 years between now and 2030, in which everything is exposed for what it really is. May humanity pull that curtain away from the great Wizard of Oz and see the system for exactly what it is, with all its warts and ugliness, because it is pretty darn ugly.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
You know, people like Carrie Cassidy that came out with Project Camelot back in 2006, she was interviewing whistleblowers that was telling what was coming down the pike. And I remember Dr. Deagle that was on there that told us all this, and it sounded like conspiracy and scare tactics and all this kind of stuff. But I'll bet you if you go back here and watch what he was putting out, like what they had planned, on one hand, it's like, doom and gloom and all this. But if you can prepare by knowing, hey, I'm not going to take the, what, would you like honor what he was putting out? Plus, he was risking his life. And then as far as Ed Dames, whenever he came out, I remember him, one thing specifically that he said is, soldiers will be, they'll look up, some event happens in the sky, there'll be a shot across the bow, and then all of a sudden everybody looks up, they see whatever this was, he didn't know what it was, and everybody puts their guns down and they go home. I don't know what that was or what event that could be. Could it be an asteroid? Could it be UFO? But that's that's when you said Ed Dames, that's what I remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I wonder if the Galactics or somebody along those lines could actually do something like that and stay still on the karmic positive side of things. Because again, to directly intervene when somebody doesn't want direct intervention can induce negative karma. Just to bring it up, like somebody had reached out and said, oh, I have a dear friend that needs your help and, is suffering from cancer. And, can you guys work on them? Well, I mean, they have to reach out to us. I mean, we can't work on somebody else specifically like that without their approval. That's a karmic no-no, and you might not understand it, but the higher self could have plans for that person, and often that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a couple things with that. One of the things that came to mind as you're saying that is when Terry and I were channeling one time, and we were trying to help somebody that was in not a good way, because they came on a broadcast and they were like stressed out, and we're like, okay, well, let's go send them love and light. And so Terry was actually channeling, and we're sending energy to this person, and she got kicked out of her channel, which never happened. And we're like, what the heck? And we found out, like, you're not allowed to do that. That goes against your free will. And we were actually imposing what was none of our business to be there unless they would have asked. And so, we learned a hard lesson that day. Like, okay, if we're asked moving forward, then we will help. But if we don't get asked, then we can't do that. And now you can send energy and love towards somebody, but not in such an invasive way, where the packets of love basically are vibrational energy around the person that when they need it and they ask for it, it's there for them. And so there was one other point that I wanted to make with what you were saying, Mike. It was, oh goodness, it was a good point too. I'll tell you what, I'll give you the mic back, and maybe you can remind, what were you talking about to kind of trigger my brain?
He was talking about someone emailing in, and they really, really wanted help for their friend.
Yeah.
But their friend is the one.
I see. Okay, thank you. So you were also saying just prior to that the free will, the Galactics can't come in because of this free will planet. And the only thing that I know that can avert that or kind of put that to rest is if the bad guys come in and they go in against our free will, then the higher dimensionals can actually counter what they're doing. And so that's the only thing, and I actually could see some scenario like that happening, where we're getting so powerful or so aware of our abilities, and we're coming together like this, and we're changing things like, hey, their technology's creating a tornado. Okay, everybody band together, and then all of a sudden we nullify it. And all of a sudden, they have no more options left but to use other things against us and go against our free will. Then all of a sudden, the higher dimensionals will come in because now they can. I see something like that, a scenario actually coming in like a divine intervention.
I could see that too, is if there's something that's going to happen that's maybe going to tear a hole in space-time, well, you bet then they can come in and do something. But it's up to us primarily to do what we can for ourselves. But if you are helping yourselves and you're being honest with yourself and you're being clear and you're connected with higher self, then you're doing everything you can. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. Everything, this life that we have on planet Earth is not always pleasant. It can be very, very difficult, but, life is messy. Life can be very messy, and it can be very, very painful, but we do have help.
Yeah, absolutely. And this list is showing each individual country with the expected increase or decrease in population in the year 2100. And as you could see, a lot of these countries, they're looking at 60% population declines. Now, again, migration. Look at the migration. This is always going on this planet. It ebb and flows, but it's always going on. And look at this. This might be nothing. Maybe this is some sort of kite. It's just some balloons. But, there's still so many sightings going on of UFOs, UAPs, so many strange things in our skies. I don't think that's going to decrease. In fact, again, in a Bronze Age, it's just going to be the norm. And even just a realization that there's beings coming and going all the time. As something came in and got kind of close and then took off.
Yeah, that's a weird feeling energy.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that I learned over the years of doing all this type of work is that towards the end, before the big reveal, like it's almost as if like the Wizard of Oz, when Toto goes in there and rips the curtain and pulls it and everybody can see what's really going on. As we raise in our vibration, and people are feeling it, people that aren't feeling well, it's because of this full moon, it's because of the eclipse, thank you. The summer solstice or spring solstice is coming up. These energies will affect us in a way that as we raise in our vibration, we're going to widen the visual acuity and the ability to see within some of the spectrum we can't see right now. And all of a sudden, where these people, these higher dimensional, high fourth dimensional beings hide, we all of a sudden can see them. There's no more hide and seek. It's not like they kind of poof, they vanish in front of us, because now we still see them. Mm-hmm. And you see that with people that are psychic or mediums, their antenna is just turned on a little bit more than the general population, but it's going to freak some people out whenever, because especially people that aren't prepared, they might be right on the teetering on like, yeah, I've done a little inner work, but not really. And all of a sudden they start to see stuff because the vibration raises, and they're like, oh my God, did I just see what that, person really looks like? Because they are, some people call them shapeshifters. Energetically, there's some stuff that goes on that if when you raise in vibration, you see it. And if you're not prepared to see it, it does freak you out.
It can bring a lot of trauma. And usually when I am working on someone, one of the last things I tell them to do, to don't use your abilities. You have them, everyone has them, but don't use them, because it does raise you up just enough in vibration, which means other things need to fall down. They need to go down. And it's that tearing off the Band-Aid can be very, very painful. It can also take from, it can take from yourself. It can bring about triggers. I've seen this over and over and over and over. And it can be a very painful thing. So I always recommend when people are starting to go through an awakening, just really focus on yourself, hone in on yourself. That's the best thing you could do for yourself. Learn a mind, body, breath practice, because that's what's going to pull you through. These are the things that, and then when you do see something, you're not going to freak out as much, because you're going to be ready for it. You're going to be like, oh, okay, well, this is normal. This is no big deal. It's just part of life. It's another dimension. This is what we have.
And by the way, it just hit me that today is the Ides of March. So the Ides of March is the 15th of March, and the day when Julius Caesar was assassinated back in 44 BC. So yeah, it's a day to be cautious and vigilant. Maybe the biggest thing, hopefully, that we just have to deal with today is just the weather. Hopefully nothing else large will come of this in the scripting. We did have Trump make mention of hitting Yemen militarily. Obviously, also, there's still the Ukrainian conflict ongoing. And there is an area that has been surrounded by Russian soldiers that they're putting out there, that hopefully peace can happen. But at the moment, peace has been rejected. Again, history repeats itself. So when we look at this month too, we obviously see the buildup towards spring. We see the geopolitical situation is crazy. You have, MSNBC hosts talking about stepping down because they can't handle it. And at the same time, you also have a lot of people skipping town because maybe they're fearful of what's to come. It's like there's a big bad predator out there on the loose, making its way close to who needs to be really, really nervous. The system does, because the system is being exposed again. And the system can be like a wounded bear or a wounded mama bear trying to protect its all of its dark minions. Yet it's inevitable. It's inevitable, and the light is spreading, and we are understanding more and more of what's been going on and why than ever before. And we got to keep doing our best to awaken as many people as possible.
Definitely. We have to keep going. We have to keep sticking together. We have to keep supporting each other. And however that looks, very, very critical. Whatever you can do, when you come in here and you're in the chat and you're being positive and you're giving a thumbs up and you're staying and, you're just supporting us and you're supporting other people, we cannot do this awakening without you.
I see this and I'm like, what if it's time for the boomerang to return? And all the crap that they put out due to karmic energies and all the other thing gets returned to these, because you're saying there are people that are, turning tail and heading the heck out of this country, and they're claiming we have a new dictator and blah, blah, all this crap. No, it's because you were part of the problem, and now it's time for the people, the loving, unconditional loving people like this group here, to rise, and the meek shall inherit the earth, as they say.
We shall see.
Yes, and so Soul Reviver was talking about the square root of 1% of any given population is all that it takes for the entire population to be affected by the square root of 1% who are gathered together in one name, etc. Yeah, when we're really intent on creating unity, on creating true unity, true change, not, just the pendulum swing of the geopolitical spectrum, but, taking that whole pendulum and tossing the whole pendulum out. That's what we need to do. It's when humanity stops acquiescing. Again, there's a reason why they look at all these different numbers and economic participation and voter turnout, because every time we turn out, it's ultimately been a vote for the system's power over us. We have to, we could really use some true good leadership of a totally different type, like a type like Soul is talking about there, a real radical revolutionary from the perspective of revolutionary peace and change that can only come through peaceful measures, because again, the system thrives on chaos. It thrives on warfare, death, and destruction. So like what Joe was saying, if there is some sort of intervention, divine intervention, and there's a sign that makes people realize we've all just been played by the system against each other, and everybody just throws their weapons down and has a barbecue.
That sounds yummy.
Yeah, what are we having for dinner tonight, Mike?
Oh my goodness sake.
They've pulled the wool over our heads so many times. It's like they take joy in it too. They want to just kind of show that they have the magic that they can use on us. How many Bidens, how many Hillarys, how many Melindas, and what really was the case with, or what is the case with, Macron's significant other, Big Mike. It goes on and on and on. It's just the system doing what it likes to do, which is, again, get us to give our power away to it. When we say no, you guys, you don't care about any of us on this planet. The reality is they only care about themselves and their inflated egos. And so it's up to us to say no. We will no longer give power to the lies and the illusions. We want something really different. We want to step totally out of the box. We could throw that box, in the closet. We could throw it out of the closet. We could throw it in the bonfire.
That sounds like a good idea. I like fire. I like fire energy.
Yeah, so when I was in New Mexico, it was fire energy, like I was saying. Yeah. So that's why I was there for a while. And, now it's, just traveling to me is like the spice of life. It's like, oh, what does this place have to offer? How high are these energies? And just like this puppy here, look how cute. Cuteness alert.
Oh my gosh, cuteness overload. Look at this little guy. He's so sweet and precious and innocent, and he's just doing his best, and his life is in the hands of another person, and I hope it goes well.
Cindy's going to be giving us a ding before that. If you want to join me in just making a simple declaration that we ask our guides and our protective angels and all the benevolent beings out there that can hear us and feel our intent, that they do help us to awaken the entire planet. May the dark matrix fall and be nothing but a dusty memory of long forgotten time. And may love and peace prevail, and may the light shine on all. And Cindy will give us a ding.
Create a happy thought. Okay, I just want to let you guys know that was the heart chakra. So I hope that you really feel that, and I hope that that energy comes into your life and it makes your life a little bit better. Source bless and namaste.